kidnapped, walking the scene, reviewing old flicks from the 90s. So keen, the VHS Club, they're the talk of the town. Breaking it down, spreading nostalgia all around. Moving and grooving to the synth-pop sound. Their insight so fresh, painting pictures profound. From Pulp Fiction to Clueless, they know it all. The genuine love for movies stands tall. Unfolding memories on that VHS screen, talking about classics like you've never seen. Katie with Earth, Sean, Matt with that wit. Together they make the VHS Club legit.
Welcome to the VHS Cult Classic Club.
You pulled it off excellently.
I pulled
Amazing.
it off. We're gonna get a little bit silly tonight. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun. As it turns out, almost every single movie that we love is a cult classic.
Yeah.
So buckle up, everyone. It's gonna be a fun time. And if it's not, Josh is already saying, he doesn't know. He doesn't know how many cult classic movies he actually really even knows or likes. So, but that's okay.
You'd be surprised. Most of our episodes, we've realized. When Katie suggested this cult classic as a topic for today, I was like, I think most of our episodes are considered cult classics.
Yeah. And if this goes horribly awry, then we'll just pretend that episode 101 just didn't happen. We'll be like, 101, what's that? We've deleted that. That doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. No one will know.
Or we'll just do 101 2.0 like we did episode 1.2.
Yeah, 101 the remix, a real movie topic, a real actual movie review. Well, Paul is here. Paul is here for it. Paul is here for it. I absolutely love it. Well,
so this is our 101 episode.
Yeah.
This is episode 101.
Yeah, which means that if you've been here from the absolute beginning, you've spent 100 hours with us, which is kind of wild. I mean, not really, because probably you've watched a few episodes and not all of them. Or if you're like Josh, you joined halfway through and didn't go back and rewatch the earlier episodes. So
you don't need to.
You don't need to. Josh is here for the silliness, so it's a safe space for the silliness. It's we're nearing spooky season. We're basically in spooky season, if you ask me.
We
but
are
we're
in spooky season.
The silly fall prep to spooky season. So
I'm isn't spooky season starting in August?
Yeah, in my mind, if I lived alone and in my mind and how I act, the second that my birthday ends over Labor Day, we're in spooky season. We're in the holiday season that contains all of the spooky and delightful holiday season things.
If it was up to me, on Labor Day, on the Monday of your birthday weekend, we would be putting up your giant 20-foot skeleton.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's say
how we cap off the end of your birthday.
It's true.
Take notes, Stain.
The giant skeleton is going up this weekend, and I will say,
Oscar.
I did get lucky because I had a friend give me for my birthday this life-size dog skeleton silver statue that has a tray coming out of his mouth. And because it was a birthday gift and it was already here, we've broken some of the Dane Fox rules for Halloween. So it's
Dane likes to schedule the holidays within appropriate norms, which when it comes to Christmas and Katie, I totally support Jane's schedule. Like, because otherwise, like, it would be November 1st, midnight, and Katie would be like, Christmas decorations everywhere. Halloween is over. And I can't.
Yeah. Everyone has their thing, which is
I
actually a
know,
good
it's
kickoff
totally
for this
fair.
episode because
Fair.
we're going to talk about cult classics today, and there are like a zillion of them, and the definition for cult
Yes.
classic is pretty broad. So we're just going to say we're not rating any movies. We're not judging anyone. If you like cult classics, yay. If you don't, totally fine. And if you're hanging out with us in our live studio audience, like I see many of you are popping in, feel free to throw your favorite like cult classic movies, moments, quotes, like just quote at us and and participate. I was saying to Nat before we jumped on, like, we could literally spend this entire episode just yelling movie names that we like out loud to each other and laughing, and that would be a whole hour easily. But we won't do that to you, but we could. we could do that. We could do that. Yeah, as Kathy is saying, she's looking up cult classics, and there are so many genres. So yeah, they're kind of genre-less. Do you want to? I know, Nat, normally you give a movie description. Do you want to take a stab at what is a cult classic as your movie description?
Sure, I'll try.
Okay, all right, give it a whirl.
So, a cult classic technically is a movie that did not see conventional success, but has found success in its lifetime because of fans, because of fan reaction.
Yes.
So, reaction of a small percentage of people who thought, I think there was a quote you had sent me earlier, 5% of people have seen this movie but love it 100%.
Yeah.
Versus, and that's a cult classic, versus the normal like blockbuster movie is 100% of people loved it, and maybe, or 100% of people have seen it and maybe 5% love it.
Yeah.
But this is like very few people have seen this movie. You get excited if you love this movie and you think that nobody else has heard of it, and you encounter somebody else who's seen it, and you're like so excited that this person has seen this movie and they love it just as much as you. It's a cult classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the biggest like cult classics is Rocky Horror Picture Show is kind of the most iconic cult classic, and The Room also. I would say it's sort of the modern version of Rocky Horror Picture Show, except that's still placing us in like 2000. Like, it's not like a current modern cult classic, but it's the only one that kind of has the same reaction as Rocky Horror. So to expand on that is so Rocky Horror has an annual global sensation where every sort of Halloween season there is a viewing of Rocky Horror Picture Show in theaters
in whatever city
all over
you're
the world, wherever, where people interact with the movie. The audience interacts with the movie, and there's usually also a whole stage production of people acting out the movie to prompt the audience to interact with the movie.
Yep.
It's this whole thing, like Rocky Horror Picture Show, you have props, you have lines that you're supposed to say, there's a give and take, like a shout and response reaction to people just sitting in the audience watching the movie. And The Room also has this, they have like an annual thing that's really big, predominantly in the US, I think in San Francisco maybe. I don't know why I think specifically there, but there must be some sort of like film festival for it every year.
Yeah, Caleb is saying, let's talk about the strangest cult classic film ever, The Room. I've never laughed so hard at a bad movie before, but this one is see it to believe it. Yeah. Yes.
It is the worst movie probably ever made. It is so bad. And it is such delusion is put into like such heartfelt delusion is in this film that it's fantastic.
One of my favorite facts, just to get ahead of ourselves here, about that movie is that it somehow magically, and we won't go into specifics in case we get in some kind of trouble with people watching or listening.
We're not talking rumors about this movie.
Magically got like millions of dollars. I think it was $6 million to make this movie, which is not overly common for a cult classic. Usually their budgets are pretty small, generally
In
speaking.
the tens of thousands?
Yeah.
Not
and
in
it
the millions.
It just somehow magically got an insane amount of money to make this movie, and yet did it so badly. And yet
did it have theatrical release? I don't even know.
I don't even know.
I think it had very limited, like maybe 10 screens across the US.
Yeah.
Something crazy low like that. But I mean, everybody's, if you haven't seen it, you've heard of it.
Yeah.
And Tommy Wiseau, which we love his whole brand of whatever it is that he's putting out there.
Paul is saying that he cannot tell you the number of times he's seen Rocky Horror in a theater. Caleb is saying that one of his favorite cult classics is Goofy Movie. Absolutely. That one has a cult following as well. I do love, so in kind of researching and reading through a whole bunch of different articles, that it, as you were saying, like there is something in the cult classic bucket, which spans genres and actually honestly spans budgets. There are some big budget movies that still like either didn't do well or like have found a cult following, even though they were successful,
did well
to some
and
level,
still became a cult classic, like Fight Club.
Yep. So there are
starring the epitome of Brad Pitt era.
Yep.
And it was, as far as I know, it did well in the box office. It was super well promoted. Everybody heard about it. Everybody talked about it. Everybody saw it, and it's still considered a cult classic.
Yep. Yeah, because there is this idea of like quotability. As you said, it's got like a community around it. Like it resonates with people to some level. And I honestly think like some of it is just, it's easy to quote. There's like a magic in the dialogue. There's usually also a like I don't know, this isn't like the right terminology, so movie people don't come after me, but it like in the general like atmosphere and the cinematography of the movie, like there's something normally distinctive.
Unconventional.
It's unconventional in how it's filmed.
Yeah.
And then as you said, it has like typically ends up having this obsessive fandom that really like is a tie back to nostalgia. So like not unlike why I assume some of you hang out with us here on Thursday nights, right? It's this idea of like, there's something fun about sharing what we love about these movies with other people who are like, oh my goodness, I love that too. Or I love that line, or that movie takes me back to that moment in time, or that movie is a perfect time capsule of this generation or that generation. I think something
Kathy just said,
that, right? Like, yeah.
Kathy had just commented live that Rocky Horror Picture Show was the first time she was extremely drunk. And it's like, exactly. It ties you to a certain time period and a certain memory, and that kind of gives you that whole cult classic nostalgia. Yeah, it does. Cult classics involve nostalgia and dialogue and sort of off-kilter storytelling and unconventional film methods and again, like you said, memorable dialogue. I mean, as we can all see, if you're watching this live, Katie and I are both wearing the Life Aquatic with Steven Zissou toques, which we got because us and a large group of our friends lined up to see the midnight premiere of the movie, The Life Aquatic with Steven Zissou. By Wes Anderson. Mm-hmm. Now, nobody had seen this movie before. There wasn't, I don't remember a ton of marketing around this movie.
No, but Wes Anderson was starting to, this was not his first movie. So Wes Anderson
he did Rushmore, he did
cult following.
The Royal Tenenbaums.
Yep.
So he became, Wes Anderson, the director himself, his style and himself became a cult classic.
Yeah.
So when this movie was coming out, we were like, well, we're going to go see the midnight premiere. And there was, I think, a large group of us that actually got interviewed by CTV Canada, like a news agency in Canada. And I tried to look it up, but it wasn't digital at the time. But one of our friends who was interviewed,
can't judge us.
Well, no, one of our friends, Chris Paps, he ended up being interviewed, which we were all like, thank God, because he was the movie snob at the time, the movie expert.
Yeah.
And he did this interview with the news, and we all got these toques because of his interview. So like there's a group of at least 20 of us that were in line to see the midnight premiere of a movie that nobody's even heard of. Who got these toques?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it is interesting. I think Kathy, you're absolutely right that like so Rushmore is definitely a cult classic,
It is.
which was which is one of Wes's movies, as we were saying. But you are
It
right there.
was basically his big
It
first.
was his first, yeah. But there is
Yeah.
something about him as a person. I definitely think we should do a Wes Anderson week, month,
Yeah. I
whatever, like
mean,
and review a bunch of them
his
because he
soundtracks,
is
his filming
a
style.
presence. Yeah.
And the thing is, his filming style, he does this thing where he does almost kind of still frames, where it's like certain shots in his movie look like art. It
Yeah.
looks like like a painting.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a mural. It looks like, and
Yeah,
he
there
does
is a
sort of almost this
filter.
sort of freeze frame.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like there's all this action happening, and there's this slight pause where everybody is almost like posing for a painting. And he does this in all of his films. And it's he himself has become a cult classic. So whenever he puts out a movie, it becomes Criterion Collection, it becomes critically acclaimed, and he's sort of broken that barrier of mainstream and cult classic
Mm-hmm.
just through his oddities, which we love, obviously. I
Yeah.
mean, Katie and I, when we were students at university, had this movie, which you used to be able to do when you had DVDs. You could have the DVD on replay.
Yeah. It's just
Like the whole movie
just
in
loops.
itself, just on replay, constantly on a loop. And this movie was playing in our apartment pretty much at a constant for at least a year.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
yeah.
again is another part of cult classics is that level of like rewatchability as well. So like it there is something about like so it has an element of an obsessive fandom. It has an element of midnight screenings. It's got quotability. It's a little weird and quirky. It doesn't necessarily appeal to mass audiences.
No,
and
usually not.
And it is, but to the people it does appeal to, they are ride at
Obsessed.
dawn.
And the thing is,
for it.
it breaks generations.
Yeah.
So, for instance, A Clockwork Orange.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's heard of it. Everybody recognizes certain imagery from it. Even if you haven't seen it, you basically know what it's about. And that's past generations, several generations.
Yeah.
And it's because it's a cult classic. It was widely released. It was globally released. It got banned and censored in most places, which is what makes it a cult classic, because it really infringed on people's sensibilities. And but it spans generations. I'm sure if you went into high school for Halloween this year, you would see at least one kid dressed up as Malcolm McDowell from Clockwork Orange.
Yep.
It's a guarantee. Somebody's going to be wearing false eyelashes and a bowler hat.
Yep. Yeah. These are awesome comments, guys. Keep them coming. Paul says that the first time he saw Rocky Horror, he couldn't understand why his cousin was making him take all of the crap to the theater. And then I understood, right? And then Kathy is saying exactly what you just said, that she saw a scene from Rocky Horror in Fame before she ever even saw Rocky Horror Picture Show. So she knew at least that one part of the movie. And it is a little bit different. It is interesting. This is actually a great question coming in from Terrell, is asking, would something like Wizard of Oz be considered a cult classic? It failed in the box office, but years later is known to be like wildly popular. Yeah,
100%.
I think so. Absolutely. That movie, by the way, it falls outside our like 70s, 80s, 90s, and today crazy timeline, obviously. But
it's a cult classic,
but
so
it's a
it falls
cult
right
classic.
back in.
But it all, maybe we'll review it anyway. But it has crazy stories. Like if you have not researched the making of that movie, it's wild. Like it is just a wild. Go down that path.
If you don't want to be clinically depressed, do not watch Judy Garland's story. There's some like Lifetime movie made about Judy Garland, some like biopic. Like it is hard to watch, but it surrounds a lot around the making of The Wizard of Oz. Like phenomenal movie, and again, like that, it meets the criteria. It was not a big box office success. It did not meet great critical review. People are obsessed with it. Everybody knows it. It has lasted generations. Like that is cult classic.
Totally cult classic. Kathy's saying Bill Murray is a perfect choice for cult classics as well. Stripes, Life Aquatic, Rushmore, Lost in Translation.
Yeah.
It is interesting in the same way that like someone like
I mean,
Wes
Bill
Anderson,
Murray.
right, is a director who is kind of a cult classic
Yeah.
director. There are definitely cult classic movie like actors who either intentionally or otherwise seem to end up in a lot of these cult classic movies. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, Bill
it is wild.
Murray still to this day does not have an agent
His
and just
answering
has
machine.
right? Isn't it like a tape answering
it's
machine?
like
I think
a
there's a whole
1980s
movie.
answering machine. Yeah, it is.
There's like a whole movie based on him, which I think he was actually in, and now I can't remember the name. There's a movie about a director or a producer trying to sign Bill Murray or some actor, an eccentric actor, to be in their film, which is an indie film. And basically it was based on Bill Murray's actual life.
Oh, funny.
And I think Bill Murray was in it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
As himself, but he played a fictional character. He is absolutely a cult classic in himself.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some types. So I had AI help us categorize some of the different types of cult classics. I liked what they came up with. So they have they gave four different categories. So they have they're so bad they're good category, which includes ones like The Room.
The Room.
And all the other ones you can immediately think of that are just like, wow, this got made. How did this get made? And then you're like, actually,
What is
it's
it?
kind of
Evil
funny.
Dead?
Evil Dead would probably be a great one that would fall into this
Army of
category as well.
Darkness,
Army
yeah.
of Darkness, yeah. Genre bending and quirky, and these are ones like Donnie Darko. I mean, even Repo Man,
Clockwork Orange. Yeah. Oh, Repo Man. And it's a musical.
right? Yeah. And then you have underground hits, which I'm like, yeah, okay, I buy that. And they categorized Clerks and Eraserhead in these ones.
Yeah.
And then you have, as
Or
you were saying,
Rushmore Election.
Yeah. And then you were saying mainstream that ended up with a cult fandom. So that's ones like Big Lebowski, Fight Club, all of these.
Lost Boys?
Lost Boys? Lost Boys feels like it would
Was
be
that
in
a
the
big
quirky
box office success?
I don't know. We haven't done it yet. We'll have to figure out some more
I
about
don't
those ones.
know. I feel like, I mean, I was too little to see Lost Boys in theaters, but I knew about it growing up. So I'm like, it couldn't have not been talked about at least.
It definitely is a cult. That one definitely is a cult classic.
Because I mean, like, there's the Lost Boys, which everybody knows, and then there's Solar Babies, same group of actors, basically, nobody's heard of. Which Solar Babies, as good as Lost Boys almost.
Yeah.
Though there's no oiled up saxophone player in Solar Babies,
True.
so
True. So maybe not.
Lost Boys wins, but
Lost Boys wins. Well, and then it gave us a whole bunch of different examples. I think we've talked about a few of these here. I do love that. So obviously Big Lebowski we just mentioned. Clueless gets included in this one from going from just like, and that one I think would fall under the mainstream to cult fandom, where it went from being like just a eye roll silly teen movie to just like this endlessly quotable classic. So Josh,
there's a whole generation.
You've seen one.
There's a whole generation of people that have that vocal fry because of one movie in 1995, which bumped off a whole other movie, Empire Records, from becoming a mainstream movie, which is also a cult classic.
Yeah.
Clueless directly impacted Empire Records. Both cult classics, though.
Yeah,
interesting.
It's wild. And then you have Donnie Darko, which we've talked about, which again we should cover at some point.
Yeah,
that one is wildly confusing and very, very dark. And it was scheduled to release right as 9/11 was happening, so it got like pulled and delayed and never was able to find. So it's hard to say, like, is that one a cult classic because it's so incredibly weird, or is it a cult classic because of terrible timing or something just stuck in between? But it became. So what's kind of cool about this topic in relation to VHS and VHS Club is that there are a number of these movies that just did really abysmally at the box office, but then the second that they hit Blockbuster and the VHS market and TV, they took off and found these fandoms. And it was really fascinating. I was watching the Clue documentary recently. I'm all in on Clue.
Because it's the best.
I've always been all in, but I've been like really all in. I took my kids to, they did like a 40th, I believe, anniversary re-release at our local theater, and so I was like, yes, on board. So I took the kids, we went to the theater to see Clue, and then I watched the documentary in and around the same time. And in the documentary, what was really fascinating to me is, and I'm going to forget the exact role this person, I think it was the screenwriter, was also actually a playwright, and this was the only movie he had written a screenplay for. Like, he was used to doing theater productions. And so for him, it was incredibly weird because he was like, once it failed in the box office, which it absolutely did, he was like, shit, that's it. Like, because in the theater world, like, if it bombs on the stage, it's never going to be seen again. Like, that's it. It's done. It just disappears into obscurity. Maybe some people who watch it, like, talk about it and remember it, but there's no, like, you can't see it again later. It's done. It failed. Whereas Clue failed in the box office, and then for years was just like this failure. And I'm sure in his mind he was like, "Wow, that was
imagine
a weird thing." And then it started becoming popular, which is wild.
Well, and that's the thing;
for
these
that
movies,
kind of person.
cult classics, become popular not while they're in theaters or being released. It's within the lifetime of the movie existing, but it's not within its prime. Like, I mean, could he imagine that the movie 40 years later would be re-released in theaters to huge success?
No, I mean, what was wild
to sold out shows? Like, that's crazy.
Listening to him talk, like, he was already blown away by the fact that it could have any kind of, like, the fact that it was even, like, released on VHS, I'm sure was shocking to him. Like, not that he didn't know, but it was just like, oh, right, yeah, I guess they're still going to release that. And then once it started picking up, like, even doing this interview for the documentary, which is fantastic, by the way, worth watching. But he was saying that, he was just clearly, even in recording the documentary, he was just, like, still in a state of shock. He was like, people quote this, people like it's weird to him, but it just, like, some of these things are just bad timing, bad marketing, didn't find their audience properly. Maybe they had a terrible name. Maybe they had a poor budget. Like, there are reasons why it didn't hit initially. So it's kind of cool that VHS and just the rental market in general, I mean, certainly DVD at a later point, but the rental market and the ability of things to move kind of into the mainstream once they are on the other side of a theater release is kind of an interesting phenomenon. Princess Bride is another one. Like, it completely failed in the theater and now is, like, one of the most beloved cult classics of our time, I think, honestly. Like, other than Rocky Horror, that one is one that just has this, like, voracious fan base and I mean, I think at this point just about every actor in that is, like, wildly famous. Like, there is.
And I think a lot of people nowadays would not realize it was a cult classic. A lot of people today would see it, will watch it and be like, oh yeah, but I mean, people have been talking about this movie for 40 years.
It must have done well.
There's the assumption that it did well at the time, even though it didn't.
As Kathy is saying, like, cable and VHS helped to develop these cult classics because, again, because it made it possible not only to watch and rewatch, but to be able to tell your friends and then rewatch it with them. Like, it allowed for sort of a viral word of mouth and which then again fostered the rewatch. Like, I don't know. I know that this is true of Nat and me as well, but if you're watching with us live or if you're watching later, you can email us and tell us. But are you the kind of person that if, like, in rewatching a movie, like, if you recommend a movie to someone else, you're like, this is my all-time favorite movie, or this is a movie you absolutely have to see. Josh, you need to see Empire Records with us. Like, do you want to watch it with them? Like, I am the person that, like, I don't just want them to watch it. Like, I want to watch it with them.
I want to see them
their
react
reactions. But I like feel bad quoting a movie out loud when someone's watching it for the first time. So I'm just, like, sitting there and, like,
never forget.
Giddy, like stress where I'm like, I want to quote this, but I want to watch you, and I can't.
I will never forget the first time Katie's brother, who came up from the States with his then girlfriend, now wife, came up to visit me in Montreal, and we put on Empire Records. We had a movie night and ordered in pizza or whatever and had a movie night, and we watched Empire Records, and Ben and I were, like, under our breath, didn't realize we were doing it, subconscious, quoting the whole movie. And she's like, Ben warned me, you, Katie, you and Katie and him were obsessed with it, but I didn't realize it was to the point where the three of you literally can quote the movie beginning to end, like credit to credit. Like, you know, every single word, every inflection, every facial expression. She's like, it's crazy. She's like, I'm not absorbing the movie. I'm watching the two of you watch this movie, and it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
something about I mean, I think this is what makes movies magical, honestly, which is why, I mean, I think it was Kathy that said earlier that like almost every episode the VHS Club has done is just about, I think almost all of them are called classics. And probably a lot of that
Yeah.
is there is the nostalgia that's caught up in it and the community aspect that's caught up in it is that these are the movies that are fun to watch and rewatch. And these are the ones that when we ask you what movies should we do next, the ones that you recommend are those ones that you have like a passion for and a love for, and typically not as like, I don't know,
Commercial.
commercial, because I feel like
I
there's
realized
some.
we haven't like
There's some, but
E.T. was kind of our biggest like mainstream movie that we've covered.
Yeah.
Like from out the gates, we didn't cover. I didn't realize it until I was looking up
We did
for
True
this
Lies.
episode.
We did True Lies. We did. There are a few that we did that were like bigger.
But
bigger
Jamie Lee
budget.
Curtis is arguably a cult
True,
classic
true.
actress.
In this episode, we just decide that every movie is a cult classic, and the ones that aren't are not worth watching. So we're sorry to everyone.
Okay. So, Katie, give me your top cult classics.
Oh my gosh. I know.
I feel like we mentioned.
I can't even answer my top like movies that I love. Well, right now I'm in a Clue kick, and like so I can quote Clue pretty much from start to finish. I can quote Empire Records start to finish, and I can quote Princess Bride start to finish. So I think probably, if I'm being honest, those are in my top 5 certainly.
If we're gonna be honest, I'm gonna remind you that back in the early aughts, we could quote Dirty Dancing start to finish.
True.
As well.
That's a big budget win though, so I don't know if that technically counts.
It doesn't count, but we can quote that beginning to end.
Yeah. How about you? Kimberly is saying that her favorite one is Titan AE, which I haven't seen in a long time. That's a great one.
Love that one. Disney, is it Disney? I can't remember. It's a cartoon.
If it is Disney.
Fantastic. Is it starring Matt Damon?
Drew Barrymore apparently, isn't it? It's been a very long time since I've seen it, so I can't give any accurate facts. So sorry.
I think I've rewatched it in the past 2 years. Probably.
And Kathy, I see your comment. So Kathy is plus oneing Night of the Comet, which
Night
I
of
have
the
not seen.
Comet.
Now,
I haven't seen. It's on my actual immediate list to watch. Like I will watch this weekend.
We are in. You will have to join us.
Yeah.
Josh is saying that it is a Fox movie, but it is owned by Disney, which is not surprising.
Yeah. Well,
how about you, Nat?
I saw it when it came out, and I saw it recently. Okay, so I mentioned A Clockwork Orange. The reason I got into that movie, my dad was like, "Okay, kid, like you need to see this movie. Like this is a classic. This is a cult classic. It's pivotal to." Commentary on like societal commentary, sociopolitical commentary. He's like, you need to watch this. So it's like, not only is it a cult classic, but that my dad recommended that we watch it and kind of want to expose us to that sort of, it got very controversial because it was a huge commentary on free will versus policy and politics and what society deems as proper and what policy deems society should deem as. Anyways, watch the movie. It's quite intense. There are a lot of scenes in the movie that are hard to watch, which is the whole point. So that it sticks with me and it's fantastic, and I think everybody should watch it. I think they even played it for us in high school.
Yeah,
I think that we watched it in high school because it was, a different time than it is now. But
yeah, I have not.
But they were like,
you need in a very long time. But I think it was. Yeah. I think it was back in high school, like actually through high school that we saw that one.
And it was based on a book. So if you didn't I can't remember if I saw the movie in high school or read the book in high school. It was one or the other for
Or
sure.
probably both.
But I had
in this
already
case.
seen it because Dad was like, you're too young to see this, but you're not because you're smart. It's like you and Katie can handle this. Watch.
There, you are right though. Like in that one, there is something. There are a lot of cult classics that also have this idea of like they have like
Going
a
against the
yeah
grain.
going against the grain.
Yeah.
They have either like a political bent or they have like a message and a mission to some extent. So yeah, that's a good one. That's a dark one. I thought you were gonna say Rocky Horror because you were like right up there.
Well,
in the
I
world
love. I mean, I saw
just a
Rocky
given.
Horror when I was maybe 11,
Yeah.
like 10 or 11 for sure. Yeah, but the other one I was thinking of, which I haven't heard a lot about recently, but is a big one, especially when we were growing up, was the Boondock Saints.
Oh yeah, that one was a really popular one. Yep.
And that was a complete box office flop, a 100% success on rental. Like rental is what made this movie, and word of mouth.
Yep.
Like everybody, I remember literally everybody I knew was talking about this movie. Everybody. It was quotable. It was ultra violent. It was vigilante. It was great costuming. It had Willem Dafoe,
Yep.
which was in another cult classic that we covered, Street of Fire,
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Fable,
Mm-hmm.
Streets of Fire. So yeah, and that one was just massive, and that was really one of those, it's like, how come I didn't hear about this when it was out in theaters? And it's like, oh, did it make it to theaters near us? Probably not.
Probably not.
And it was
yeah.
really just one of those like word of mouth movies that literally everybody we knew saw, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And such a huge success in rental that it became a sequel, and there's a new one apparently in talks. I just noticed today there's a third one coming out.
Absolutely.
Which, yes, please, and thank you very much.
Exactly. I'm loving Kimberly
Basically
throwing out
Irish
these.
gangsterism, but
Irish gang. DuckTales the movie. Charles asking, but what about the original Clash of the Titans? Yeah,
yes,
I think so. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I saw that on cable television. But
Yeah.
like,
It's been a while
I might
since
need
I've
to
seen
watch
that one.
an unedited version of Clash of the Titans.
I'm stretching over here to pull up my red stapler for Kathy because Kathy's suggesting Office Space. It is a swing line, I will say. Go big or
And
go
it
home.
is the memorabilia stapler.
I named him Raoul and labeled
Yes.
it, so just to be really Office Spacey. But yeah, Office Space I definitely has a cult following and is nostalgic and is like applicable to to particular generation as well. So yeah, I think that one absolutely. Lost in Space is another fantastic one Kimberly's suggesting.
Yeah.
And Trilla's like, yep, absolutely. Yep, Lost in Space.
I'm literally pulling out of my desk as we speak the swing line stapler. I got the chrome one because they don't sell the red one from the movie because that's considered movie memorabilia and solely made for movie memorabilia purposes. But this is the actual from the company swing line stapler.
I will make you feel better in that I actually have 2 red swing line staplers. So the next time I see you in person, I will just give you the second one. You can't have Raoul because I've named him, but you can have,
but mine's chrome, so I'm okay with that.
True, yeah. We can also paint yours. That's true. True. I love that Rocky Horror Picture Show is 50, which is wild.
Yeah, that's
absolutely
crazy.
Wild. Well, we do have some. Okay, so we have a couple things.
That's another one. That's another one Dad recommended. And I remember Katie and I saying like, oh, we want to go down to the Rialto Theater in Montreal to go see the Rocky Horror. They still put it on every year.
Yep.
And Dad's like, do not sit under the balcony.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't sit under the balcony. And Katie and I did not have the imagination at whatever age, like teen that we were, to be like, okay. And I'm just like, whatever we do, don't sit under the balcony. And I think we showed up and we couldn't even get in because it was sold out. So like, we didn't even end up seeing it. But I remember going down.
We dressed up and we showed up. We'll find the pictures. We'll post
that was in
pictures of our
Salem.
dress up.
Yeah.
No, we went in Salem, but we dressed up in Montreal to go to the Rialto, and we did not get in. So we have the photos.
We did not get in.
We dressed up and just
pictures?
stayed at home.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah, we could find those. We could find those.
I for sure was wearing, as I did in Salem, my Mickey Mouse hat my Mickey Mouse Club hat.
I mean, the
Yeah,
important thing is
Columbia.
for all of you to either leave a comment or hit that like button if you're hanging out with us, and if you want to see the pictures, because we can't release them unless we get
Yeah.
like some amount of likes. Obviously,
I didn't
so.
even know there was pictures, to be honest. So you and me will all be surprised together.
All right, well, here's some fun trivia, because we always promise trivia on this show. So, so here on some of the movies that we've mentioned. So, Rocky Horror started as a stage show, completely bombed in theaters, and was saved by midnight screenings. The Room, as we mentioned, had a $6 million budget. WTF. And Tommy will not say where the money came from, and we are not going to ask him. He is great. So.
We're not even sure that Tommy Wiseau is his real name. So we'll just leave it at that.
Tommy is our
fine.
friend.
We love
He's
Tommy.
Great. Yep. Clerks was filmed for $27,000, which was all paid for largely on credit cards and hopes and prayers, and was a result of the team selling their comic book collections in order to do it. So it's like Kevin Smith just being like,
Kevin.
Yeah. Yep.
Kevin sold his comics.
Kevin sold his
I
comics.
love Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith has a soft spot for Canada, and especially for Degrassi. Like Degrassi Junior High, Degrassi High, and then Degrassi Next Generation, which he directed an episode and was in a couple of episodes. Have a soft spot for Kevin Smith as Canadian, just in general, as a creator of Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love him.
And then this one you'll appreciate now, because you're a fan of this one. I am not. But Blade Runner was an absolute flop in 1982. Failed.
Wait, what?
Is now considered sci-fi royalty. It did not succeed in the box office.
Either time, the first one or the sequel, which people not thinking the sequel was fantastic, I don't understand. People not. Why don't you like the? What?
I don't
explain
like it.
this to
I
me.
don't like it.
Why?
I don't like it. I don't know. I don't know why.
It's going to be an episode now. It's going to be an episode now,
sure
because I need to dissect this so further. What do you mean you don't like it? What do you mean? Daryl Hannah?
I don't.
Harrison Ford. Our husband Harrison
I
Ford. What do you
love all
mean?
the people that are in it. I love all the people that are in it. I don't overly like it.
Hard science is not your favorite, though.
Hard science is not my favorite.
No.
Hard science is not my favorite. I will say,
no, that's fair. That's
slight
totally
aside, so totally an English literature major. This has nothing to do with anything other than hard science is not my favorite. And I'm raising two kids, one who is much more like me and one who is much more like my husband. And so my oldest came to me the other day, and he is now reading Beowulf in middle school, and I was like,
oh God,
Beowulf.
Kieran, I love you.
And I went immediately and got like every version of Beowulf I have, including like graphic novel versions.
And he's like,
and I just like
hate literature.
handed it over, and he was really good natured. He saw how like enthusiastic I was, and he took them into school and told his teacher how like insanely over the top excited I was. And he was like, my teacher said if you have any other Beowulf books, you can bring them in. Like she will. Like, so I was like, oh no, I will go out and buy more Beowulf books. Like everyone can have a Beowulf book.
I will come in and guest lecture.
Yeah.
For my whole McGill class that was on Beowulf.
Yeah.
Just to come in.
And then to tie it back into the show, there is a Beowulf movie that's like early 2000s, which is terrible. Maybe it's a cult classic. I don't even know.
It's not.
It's terrible.
The movie itself was not actually terrible.
It's true. But Kieran,
I don't think the movie was terrible, but it was poorly received because Beowulf, I mean, was the first known piece of English written literature based on oral history. So it's a little dated. So I can understand that the movie wasn't a huge roaring success because it's a bit dated.
Well,
but,
according to my 13-year-old, he was like, I don't know, it looks all right. It's got PlayStation 1 graphics. I was like, it does have PlayStation 1 graphics.
It does. It was in 3D though, okay? It was released originally in theaters in 3D. One of the first of its kind. To be solely released in 3D.
Exactly. To help us get back on track, Josh said that Mallrats is a cult classic, which he has seen, and he's also not a fan of Blade Runner.
Shock.
But Kimberly has seen it.
She's
seen it. And Kathy and Josh and I are no on Blade Runner net. So we'll have to have a show.
Nobody likes Blade Runner. I will change all of your minds next episode.
Yeah.
Okay, not the next episode, but in future episode, I will change your minds about Blade Runner.
In future episode. Yeah,
Man,
Kathy, exactly. So Kathy gets me. Show
I
and tell
get it. I
has to
get it.
happen at this middle school. Beowulf
Yes.
must be taught to the children.
Yes.
Um,
It is so important. It actually it bleeds into a lot of literature and like I guess media, like multimedia, like any of our like
yeah,
written or film or
yeah.
plays, or a lot of it is based on Beowulf, possibly including some of the
This week on the
Bible.
podcast, we convince you why you should love Beowulf and why you should not like Blade Runner. Join us next week for Oh. Yeah, so to continue with some with some fun facts. So Clerks, as I said, Kevin Smith sold his comic book collection, which makes
Yes.
us cry. Hopefully he's rebought it. It was shot in the actual convenience store where he worked. It was filmed at night after the store closed, and it was
Love.
almost rated NC-17 for the language alone. So I just like absolutely love that
Yeah.
that he pulled it off. Um, Harrison Ford, by the way, Nat, apparently absolutely hated working on Blade Runner, and the voiceover in the theatrical cut
He hates working on everything.
recorded
Okay, that's
reluctantly.
not that is not a valid comment because he hates everything.
Fine, fine.
He even hated Star Wars, which arguably is like the biggest franchise of all time.
Yeah,
So
we can't
that
speak
doesn't
badly
count.
about Star Wars. I can't do
Though
that.
when he redid, like not redid, but when he did the Blade Runner sequel, whatever, 30 years later,
Yeah.
he did admit that he quite enjoyed it. So
All right. And that's Nat's opinion on that. Well, we haven't yet talked about Heathers, which is another absolutely incredible movie and features the love of our life, Christian Slater.
Christian Slater.
And apparently that one was so like the execs hated it so much that they wanted desperately
Well, I mean, it's
to change
dark.
the ending. They were like, no, please, can you change the ending? And they were like, no, we're not going to do that.
consists of teens,
Yeah.
maladapted teens with no access to healthcare, who just straight up murder people for being bullies.
Yep.
Blow up whole school. Basis of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah. And spawned countless
And
Mean Girls stories, including Mean
and-
Girls itself. But Winona Ryder's agent apparently begged her not to do it, saying it would end her career, and she was like, "Nah."
It did not.
It did not.
It was
Fun fact: it did not.
It did not. I have a croquet set up at my cottage, and one time my friend Chris and I decided that like I know how to play croquet. Chris is like, I don't know how to play croquet. I'm
Croquet
like,
is
we'll
the
just
best.
get like super wine drunk on the beach and not play croquet, but play Heathers.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's your turn, Heather. Thanks, Heather. Your turn, Heather. And like we're just whacking the ball around the beach, and everybody's like, "Are you even playing by rules?" And we're like, "Yes, Heather rules."
Yes. Also, no.
Yeah, like totally had my red scrunchie in my hair.
Oh, so there's two more that we haven't talked about a whole lot. So that one we haven't talked about at all, which is Napoleon Dynamite, which is still a favorite of mine. Legend. It had a budget
Eat your food, Tina. Which my 3-year-old niece quotes. Eat your food, Tina, because I have said that to her a few times.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Nat, did you know that the line "Tina, you fat lard, come get some dinner" is actually inspired by the director's childhood, his actual childhood, which leads me to like, does he have an autobiography? Because I would like to know more. I
think it's Napoleon Dynamite.
That is the story that I would like to know more about. That incredible dance scene, John Hader only had one take to get that dance scene right, which is crazy.
Nailed it.
That he pulled it off. And that one
the
had
fact that he could run in on stage at a 45-degree angle. I don't understand the physics, but love it.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Huge welcome to Chance. Thanks for hanging out with us. And
Ooh, sporting event.
It had a budget of $400,000 and it made $46 million in the box office. So like shout out to.
And I wonder how much it made on rental, because
I
remember
that's the box.
I think
yeah.
You and I saw it.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was in theaters just by chance because we're weird and we're like, this looks weird, or if it was on VHS or on rental. And
I don't think I saw it in the theater.
I remember telling everybody, like, you should see this movie. It's so weird. I don't think there's a plot, but you need to see it because it's just a thing.
Yeah.
And then A few months later, everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen it.
Yeah, vote for Pedro. There is like swag and everything that comes along
I
with these.
have a
Like,
vote for
I
Pedro
was gonna say,
t-shirt.
many of us have the vote for Pedro t-shirts.
I have a Ligar t-shirt as well.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible. The other one we haven't talked about a lot, and I actually know very little about this film, so don't come at me if this is your favorite one. But the Big Lebowski is probably one of the most famous out there. I don't dislike it. I just don't. I have not seen this one over and over again.
We
It's
need
not,
to do a whole episode on it.
Yeah, we do.
Again with my niece. The first time, I think the first time
Did
I
she say
babysat
dude?
her when she started talking. No, we played a game. Well, yes, she says dude, but we played a game, the dude,
The dude, yeah.
where she has her one of her aunties, Auntie Allie, got her these Ray-Bans, baby-sized Ray-Bans, and she would just put them on and take them off, and then we would both say dude, and like we did that for 3 hours. That entertained a 1.5-year-old for 3 hours playing the dude. I don't know, I didn't know what else to do, so that's what we did. So now she still knows the dude.
Yeah.
That's all just from the Big Lebowski.
Which was said 161 times in that movie. The word dude is said 161 times in that movie. So don't play that as a drinking game. You'll
Yeah.
die. Don't do that. That
No,
would be bad.
yes, I've done that. I don't remember the rest of it, but
Yeah.
we did
It's all
do
a
that.
It's all a blur.
Yeah.
There is a Lebowski fest that happens, a convention for dude
There's a
cosplayers
cult.
and white Russians. Like
There's
this one-
actually a whole religion based. It's called it's Dudism, I think is what it's called.
Perfect.
Like I'm not even joking. I'm positive that there's a whole actual dude cult that's based on the movie.
Oh, I missed this fun fact. Okay, 2 more fun facts about Rocky Horror, since it's one of our favorites. But fact number 1, Tim Curry flew to auditions in fishnets and heels to prove that he could nail the role, which nailed it. Still
Nailed
nails
it.
Forever is the best looking person in
Thank you.
fishnets
Please and thank you
heels.
very much.
Please and thank you very much. This movie,
Nobody has carried fishnets and heels better than Tim Curry.
And it is
Except
still
for maybe Hedwig and the Angry Inch,
that's
also
another
a
one.
cult classic. Oh, love that movie. Also a musical.
Also a cult classic, also a musical. It is still running in theater, so it is the longest theatrical run in history. So as you said,
Rocky Horror, yeah.
Rocky Horror. So that is
Every spooky
impressive.
season
We're here.
it plays.
We're here. If you haven't been, it is a really
Dude
fantastic
vibes.
experience. It is an incredible one. Chance of saying Nightbreed.
So-
I haven't seen that one. Nightbreed. Have you seen that one?
Ooh. Oh wait, it came out. Is that the 80s vampire one that came out
Ooh, I
around the same
love a
time
vampire
as
one.
Yeah. It came out around Lost Boys and what was that other big 80s vampire one that was remade by Colin Firth, not great. Colin Farrell, not great. Different Colin, different country.
Oh, I was about to say Interview with a Vampire, but that's not what you meant.
No. Night. Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't remember. Hang on.
Do. All right, well, we're gonna have a little bit of fun over here and do some silly trivia. So if you're listening to this show, you're gonna probably want to jump over into and be able to watch it on YouTube, and we'll play live here with people that are hanging out with us live. Sorry, but you know what? We're just gonna have a little bit of fun. So
Fright Night? I was thinking of Fright Night.
Fright Night. All right.
Yeah, but that's also, that definitely, I need to see that one. Oh, who is this?
Who is
Shock
this?
me.
Don't answer. Don't answer, Nad. Who is this? So if you're listening, we are showing 8-bit versions of characters from some of the cult classics we've been talking about tonight. This one has a croquet paddle, it looks like, and a blue cardigan and a skirt.
I believe her name is Veronica, but is it?
All right, Nat, what do you think? What's this one?
The Heathers.
Heathers. Kathy's saying, is The Craft considered a cult classic? I think it is.
Ooh, I don't
I'm just gonna say they
know.
all are. They're all cult. Any movie we have talked about, all cult classics.
I know it was both well and not well received.
Yeah. Well, we have two correct answers. This is Heather.
Yay,
This is Heather's. All right, next one up here. This is a creepy looking. I don't know. How would you describe this, Nat, for people if they're listening? What are they looking at?
A hare.
A hare, a rabbit, It's not an Alice in Wonderland rabbit, although it could be an Alice in Wonderland rabbit.
No,
It's a little
looks like
creepier.
if you made a serial killer mask that looked kind of like a rabbit, this is what it would look like.
Yeah, the prompt for this one was like, can
Mm.
you give me a really creepy, dark rabbit? And Kathy's got this one. This is Donnie
Yep.
Darko. I'm on the fence about this one. Dane really likes this movie. I don't not like
Oh, I
it. but
loved it.
I don't love it the way that everyone else does. They do
I
look
feel
like
like you used to
Labubus,
love
though.
it a lot more.
If you like the
Oh, well-
if you like Labubus, you need to just go back and watch this movie.
Okay, Labubus are nothing new. It's just like our remake of Furbies, which is a remake of Trolls, which is just a like it's a thing.
Yes, but
It's
the
just
Labubus look
every couple
creepily
generations.
like the rabbit from Donnie Darko, though. Like
Yeah.
it's real close.
Like Furbies weren't effing terrifying.
No,
Come on.
Furbies still terrify me
Jagged
to the
teeth
core of my
and-
being.
Ugh.
All right.
Dude,
The dude abides. This one is.
I wish I had a White Russian.
It's true. This one is Veronica Mars's favorite movie. So by happenstance, I also need to
Also a
love
cult
this as my
classic, but that's
favorite.
TV.
Yeah, if we were talking TV cult classics, my favorite would be Veronica Mars, but
Or Arrested Development.
or Arrested Development. That one's really high up there for me too. That's true.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
not
yeah.
yet watched Supernatural all the way through, and I feel like it's time. It's
That's
time for me to binge it.
necessarily a cult classic as a phenomena. It was on for almost like 20 years. the
I know, but
show?
it has like a cult following, so I do want to check it out.
It has a fanboy following, which is slightly different.
That's true. It's true. Well, people are guessing these all
Yeah.
correctly because it's just
Yeah.
the smartest
The
group of
Big
people.
Lebowski.
This is Big Lebowski. All right, this one we were just talking about. I'm really happy with how this 8-bit character came out. He's got his dance moves on. He's on stage. I watched this movie recently. I started watching it with my 13-year-old, and he looked over at me and was like, "What is this movie even about?" I was like,
Yeah,
"Nothing.
exactly. Just
It's
sit and
not
watch
about
it, kid.
anything." It's not-
I'm hearing Jamiroquai while I'm seeing this image.
Oh, thanks, Kimberly's telling me that Supernatural is on Netflix. All right, that might be my next binge. It's spooky. It's like spooky. It's gonna
Prepare
take me
for
years.
emotional damage, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it's like 20 seasons, and like so it ends up following a formula, like a CW or WB as it was when it came out formula, where it's like every season there's like sort of the Halloween episode, the comedy episode, and the rip your soul out of your body episode.
Yeah.
So good luck, Katie, watching Supernatural.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I get there, but it's on my list. All right, only a couple more
Yeah.
of these. You all guessed it. Obviously, it's Napoleon Dynamite. We made these too easy, Matt. All right, here the next one.
We did.
Slightly harder. I love he like
This
3 fingers and a thumb. A dude with 3 fingers and a thumb. He's in a city. It's a guy.
Oh,
got
what's
longish hair.
hang on, I'm gonna look up a quote. I'm pretty sure I think I know what this is.
You can look up some quotes. I stand by some quotes. If you're playing at home and listening,
You're
it says-
tearing me apart, Lisa.
Mhm. Well played. Well played. See, there's a few of these ones that I need to rewatch. Like, so Big Lebowski's up there. The Room, it's been a very
Yeah.
long time since I've watched it. So
Yeah.
there's just some that they're not quite in like my cult
You're
classic
tearing
bucket,
me apart, Lisa.
but this is a good one.
I can't do it bad enough to be as bad as it was.
Yeah. And yet,
It's fantastic.
and yet,
Yeah.
3 fingers must be AI generated. Yes, these images are all 8-bit AI generated images.
I
would
mean,
love to
8-bit,
say.
would you have had 4 fingers anyways?
I don't
Not in
know.
the
I
room.
don't know if he like had a couple this many fingers. I did recently. I prepped a presentation that I forced Nat to listen to that I'm doing in
Which is great.
a few weeks, and I'm doing also 8-bit characters there for like famous movies because obviously, and I had to do Lion King, and I was like, but ChatGPT doesn't
It
like when
was
you do copyright
perfect.
infringement, so I was like, can you create me an 8-bit version? It's a scene in the safari in Africa. There's a rock that it fills people with pride, and there are lions everywhere and other African safari Serengeti animals.
I mean, you got Rafiki holding up baby Simba, so
I had to- yeah.
whatever prompt you gave it, got it.
And I had to look up what kind of monkey Rafiki is because I was like, is he a baboon? He is not.
No,
he
he
is
is
a
not.
mandrill.
Baboons have red butts.
Yeah. So I looked
not
up. So
red
I was like, and a
faces.
mandrill is holding up a baby cub lion over his head. And GPT was like, I got you. And they pulled it.
And
They
it
pulled
did.
it off. Yeah, it pulled it off. This is The Room. No one guessed The Room. They were all, everyone's bored at this point. All right, last one. Super hard.
Well, okay.
I did this one
I
just
mean,
so I
I'm
could have it
seeing
for my
Columbia. I'm seeing Rocky. I'm seeing Janet and Brad
Damn it,
and
Janet.
Frankenfeather.
I honestly selfishly just made this one so
And
I could have a
Meatloaf.
phone background for the spooky season. So this one's just for
Yes.
me. Guess or don't guess. This one is just for me. Well, we got all the way to the end of our episode. This was Rocky Horror, in case you didn't guess it, but I assume everyone got it at this point. We made it all the way to the end. This was a fun trade from our usual review. Although I will say, this episode, way more than every other episode we've done, just makes me want to watch 8 million movies. Like I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a cult classic. That's a cult classic. I was like, well, we haven't watched Princess Bride in a while. We need to rewatch Life Aquatic, and we need to rewatch like all these. So
No,
now I
and
just
we have
feel-
now a couple more movies that like Kathy
Yeah.
and Chance have recommended. Like
Mhm.
there's more 80s movies we need to watch.
yeah, and 90s and 70s and 1920s and whatever
Yeah.
else. I mean, we
Yep. I mean, I think I've mentioned the movie before, but The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane, also a cult classic from the 70s,
yeah.
starring Jodie Foster.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jodie Foster. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yep.
another one. Still don't eat almond cookies, that's for sure.
Yep. Yes, Kathy, the list, she is always getting longer. We are not even checking them
Yes.
off as fast as we are. I'm glad that you were all here for it. Well, again, huge thank you. It was so fun getting to hang out with everyone live here in our recording process. And if you're watching or listening later, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We are really trying very hard to be way more fun in email. And I have some really cool ideas. So if you're part of our email list, thank you. And if you're not, as soon as we wrap here, we'll put up a QR code and you can just scan it or send it to your friends. I was thinking about, so you can all let me know if you like this idea, but currently we only send one email a week and it's just like an episode reminder. What is this episode about and how can you find it? Which I suppose is helpful. But I would love to be
It'll
able
help you decide if you want to listen to it
It'll
or
help you
not.
decide, right?
Or
Which I-
participate live, which we love.
Exactly. I think that part is helpful. But what I want to do is do like a earlier in the week second email that's just like really cool 80s and 90s movie related like trivia and maybe like fun stuff that we found like Life Aquatic hats that are for sale or I can't reach anything easily, but like I don't know, like the Funko Pops or like any kind of fun stuff that everyone would like if you like these levels of movies. So let us know what other stuff might be able to go into that newsletter that you would find helpful. And then trivia and
Or fun. Like
giveaways and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
tell us what you guys like.
us what you
because
want, yeah.
We're
Mhm.
on board. We love to take things on board. Unlike most micromanagers in the world, like we're open to feedback.
we're open to your feedback. So submit a office style memo and we promise we will read your
with your swing line stapler.
with your stringline stapler. What is it? The TPS report. So file a TPS report and let us know.
But not on Mondays.
Yeah, but not on Mondays. We don't do any work on Mondays. So file your TPS report. Maybe we could send a Tuesday email as the TPS
Yeah.
report.
Or we could send it on the Mondays and be like, this is your Mondays email. Does somebody have a case of the Mondays?
A case of the Mondays. So many different themes. We could just do a different theme every single week. But yeah, thinking about a second email.
We'll
so
put
let us know.
flair on the sides of it.
And then we'll show you where you can purchase the flare so that you can be equally crazy to us. I think it'll be a fun mix of absolutely everything. But
Yeah.
Oh, see? Yeah. And we want to see like your photos and share stuff. Like, so Kathy just found one of her VHS rewind machines, right? Yeah. So I think
Yes.
I
Like
think
my
just like a
Corvette.
community. Yes. We can show Nat's Corvette. We can show our fun photo of us dressed up for Rocky Horror, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely sign up for the emails. Good things coming. I know I've been saying it for a while, but I also want to find the right things and not just send you guys random stuff. So
I
make sure you
also
join
just
and
want
let
to
us
put
know.
out I want to put out a disclaimer. If you're going to go see Rocky Horror for the first time in theaters this spooky season,
Mhm.
and you show up to the theater, dress up or put makeup on. Trust me,
Yeah, you have to.
it's worth it.
You don't go if you're not going
And-
to. You need to
and-
dress up.
F somebody who you may suspect work at the theater or not, if anybody asks you if you're a virgin, say no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Say no, because otherwise you'll be dragged up on stage. You will be dragged up on stage
Unless
while
you
the
like
movie
the
is playing.
attention, in which case say
I mean,
sure.
They will lipstick a red V on your
Mhm,
forehead
mhm.
and you are going to be brought up on stage, trust me. And that involves being shot with water pistols and have toast thrown at your head and confettied.
Mhm.
Bring newspaper to put over your head for when people use their water guns to rain on you. And don't sit under a balcony because it's not always a water pistol.
Wise
Some
words.
people are shit.
Wise words.
Yeah. I should say some people are pissed, but you know.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, from both of us here, thanks for hanging out. And we will see you next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, if you hang out with us live. Otherwise, listen or watch whenever you'd like. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Kidnapped